Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be directly comparing Express and NordVPN. Now guys, if you weren't aware, this channel compares VPNs with objective verifiable data, which you can always find on vpntierlist.com. I've made a huge spreadsheet with tons of different data, and you could find that very easily, like I said, on my website, and you could find that by clicking right here. You can also take the quiz if you want, but today we're going to be comparing Nord and Express side by side to help you decide which one is a better choice for you specifically. This video is not sponsored by Nord or ExpressVPN, so it's going to be objective. That said, I'll be putting links for Express and Nord in the description down below. I'm not an affiliate for ExpressVPN. I used to be back in the day when it was a better service, but they switched affiliate programs. I never really bothered signing up again since it's not a VPN I really promote that often since it's not that good. Spoiler alert. Despite that though, guys, if you want to click on Nord, if you decide you want to purchase Nord, the affiliate link will help support the channel, and it'll also get you 3 extra free months with Nord. So if that's something you might be interested in. Finally, if you want to check out another really cool service, Incogni is a really good service that will remove your information from websites like white pages and those kind of websites. It makes it so you can't get doxxed. You also get less robocalls, which none of us like. So check the link in the description down below if you want to check out Incogni. So guys, first up, let's talk about ExpressVPN and NordVPN and how they compare, at least in terms of pricing. Which is the better priced VPN? And this is kind of interesting because in a lot of ways, both of these VPNs aren't like the most affordable necessarily, at least for a lot of the pricing schemes. If we take a look at NordVPN, for example, the monthly plan is pretty pricey, around $13, and they do have some extra plans that have a couple extra benefits like password managers and things. However, Express is also pretty expensive too. I do believe it's around $13, as you can see here. It's around $100 a year, and for 6 months, it's around $60. So, not that affordable really, in case of either one. However, where Nord does beat out ExpressVPN pretty handily is that you could get the standard plan as just a VPN without some of the extras for around $83. So for $20 cheaper, you could get 2 years of NordVPN plus 3 months if you want to use my link. And that's pretty much going to be twice as much time as a service as ExpressVPN. So in some ways, it's half as expensive. Now, after those 2 years, Nord does increase to around $100 a year after that, which is the same price of NordVPN, but still as an aggregate, it would be cheaper to sign up with them long term since you are getting that really good bonus first off. Additionally, you could get a 1-year plan for Nord, which is actually a pretty good deal. Right now, it's around $70 for 1 year, so it's still going to be $30 cheaper than ExpressVPN. Both of these VPNs offer 30-day refund policies, and there's really not too much to discuss outside of that. Both of them are pretty easy to cancel without requiring talking to customer support, so that's something to think about. Next up, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the applications. ExpressVPN's application is extremely bare bones. It's really been the same for a number of years, and I reviewed it this year, and I found nothing really barely had changed at all. There's really only one setting I like about it, which makes it so it doesn't really interfere with some of your LAN devices when considering your computer. This is useful for something like my Elgato Streamlights. However, NordVPN also has a feature called split tunneling where I could segregate that off and it wouldn't be affected either. So it's not really a huge advantage. Outside of that though, Nord does have a lot of advantages in other areas. It has WireGuard, which is called Nord Links, and ExpressVPN is still using something called Lightway, which is their proprietary protocol that they now have later open sourced, but it still doesn't really compete with WireGuard, at least in terms of how popular it is and how good it is on, like, most people just like WireGuard. It's very battery efficient on phones, and it's pretty much the fastest VPN protocol there are. There is almost every single other VPN besides Express uses WireGuard now, so I'm not sure why they thought doing it this way would be better. Additionally, we also just have a couple more features with Nord than we do Express. Take for example, we have a DNS controls in the application, which you don't find with Express, which means you could customize the ad blocking if you want. It has SOCKS 5 proxy support, which ExpressVPN does not support, which means you can torrent with it better. You can also purchase a dedicated IP if you do want that. The open source application on Linux with their CLI. I don't even think ExpressVPN has an open source Linux app. So that is not really a big thing for them to think about. We also see other cool things like remote VPN capability. As you saw here on this homepage, we have this MeshNet features, which lets you transfer files and kind of share your local network to other people, even for something like gaming. So that's a nice thing. We also see a lot more extra kind of work put in by Nord for some of these extra things. Like they made their own password manager, which is cool, their own cloud storage. So if you like the ecosystem, there are some benefits with Nord as well. Overall, Nord has clearly just put in a lot more money when it comes to development compared to ExpressVPN. So I don't really know why you would choose ExpressVPN over NordVPN in terms of price or even the application as of right now. Now, if we take a look at speed tests and past reviews, we could see NordVPN was the clear winner. WireGuard just performs better than ExpressVPN, at least in my last 2 tests this year. Here is the kind of comparative results. Next up, we can talk about the privacy audit, and this one isn't like a huge difference here. I would say Nord does need to improve some of its privacy components, and so does ExpressVPN. NordVPN specifically kind of does have an advantage in some ways, though. It has 2-factor authentication, and it's just been a little bit more transparent with its leadership. ExpressVPN kind of was always kind of hiding its leadership, and then it sold its company, and then it turned out some of the reasons they were perhaps hiding their leadership and the information about them was because some of the leaders were kind of shady. There was a lot of drama involving someone called Daniel Garrick, who kind of was like, I think some kind of hacker or something like that, who committed crimes against the United States, and people really did not like him being involved in the company, and it was kind of shady. They were not being transparent about that for a long time. Additionally, Nord has had more no-log audits, and it's originally owned by the same people who made it. So I do think NordVPN, at least from a company perspective, is more trustworthy. In terms of privacy and stuff like that on the website, both could improve their analytics. Both use Google Analytics, which is not as privacy friendly as some other options out there, and both of them kind of track you when how you use their website and stuff like that. And some VPNs do that a little bit less, but not a huge deal in terms of that, since they're just kind of optimizing their website and sales. And these are some of the biggest companies out there when it comes to VPN, so it does make sense, but they still could both improve in that aspect at least. Next up, we could talk about comparative between customer support, and both these options are fine. I didn't really find any big differences between the teams' customer ticket responses or anything like that. Social media interactions from both these companies are fine. They respond okay to criticism, and there isn't really any toxicity necessarily in the communities, which is noteworthy. Sometimes I do note that on specific VPNs, because if you're a new user and you come to a community, you ask a question or something like that, it gets removed, or maybe some people are toxic to you. It could definitely kind of affect your experience with that VPN. But fortunately, that's not really the case with either of these VPN providers. Both the teams are pretty professional and the communities are decently friendly. If we talk about streaming, both of these are actually pretty good options. However, Nord is, I would say, the better choice here, mostly because Express for some reason has issues playing with Prime Video, and Nord does not have those issues. Nord also, in my experience, has supported more Netflix regions than ExpressVPN. In terms of the GUI, I think Nord wins here as well. They just have had more improvements and iterations on their GUI. They have threat protection, which is kind of like a antivirus light, and ExpressVPN doesn't really have anything quite like that. Additionally, the MeshNet and other cool features are a big bonus, and you don't really see that with ExpressVPN. Their application literally looks the same as it does 5 or 6 years ago, and Nord has had a lot of improvements and iterations to make the app look better. Overall, guys, between Nord and ExpressVPN, who is the winner? Well, it's clearly going to be NordVPN. ExpressVPN is rated around 62 points, whereas NordVPN is rated 81 points out of a total of 88. So Nord really is only missing 7 points, and Express is missing almost around 26 points. They're definitely missing some things in pricing. It's a little bit too expensive in my opinion. The application is probably the weakest part, and extra things you could get with it. At the end of the day, both of these VPNs pretty much do the same thing, but NordVPN pretty much does everything better. It has more interesting bundled options, whether you want a password manager. It's better with streaming. The speeds are better because it actually uses WireGuard. ExpressVPN is one of those VPNs that honestly feels like most of the budget nowadays just goes to marketing. And honestly, the fact that they fired a lot of their engineers would lead credence to that fact. Additionally, there's also been some sketchy things going on with the security, with DNS leaks on their split tunneling feature for years. I mean, some people have theories that VPNs purposely do this, and I can see why. It's a sell data or something. I'm not saying that Express is doing that, but it's definitely not a good look for them. In conclusion, Nord is clearly the better choice, no matter how you really look at this one. Let me know down in the comments down below which one you like, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.